Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Prophacy Truth. Doing something a little outside of my norm. Just wanted to let you guys know that I did a little bit of research on September 23rd. And on my last video I was talking about how I hadn't done any research, but I thought it had something to do with Daniel's timeline. Well, I actually came to realize that it is along the similar lines, but it's specifically referring to Revelation chapter 12, stellar alignment. But first, before I get into that, I actually want to read something from Ezekiel 33. It says, "The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, speak to your people and say to them, when I bring the sword against the land, and the people of the land choose one of their men and make him their watchman, and he sees the sword coming against the land and blows the trumpet to warn the people. Then if anyone hears the trumpet and does not heed the warning, and the sword comes and takes their life, the blood will come on their head, or will be on their head. Since they heard the sound of the trumpet and did not heed the warning, the blood will be on their own head. If they heeded the warning, and they would have saved themselves. If they had heeded the warning, they would have saved themselves. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet to warn the people, and the sword comes and takes someone's life, that person's life will be taken because of their sin. But I will hold the watchmen accountable for their blood." I knew that verse has kind of been resounding in my mind with all the biblical prophecies that are coming to fruition. Now, granted, a lot of the things have been coming to fruition from all time, but when you understand the birth pains of a pregnant woman who is in labor, you will understand that the woman is actually contracting, and her contractions are actually getting closer and closer. And as the baby starts to crown or come out of the womb, that's just the point where all it's not contracting anymore. It's actually fully dilated, and the baby's coming out, basically. Now it's a figurative or metaphor for the land or the world as we know it. Things are going to start changing, and a lot of the prophecies that are foretold, such as men will be willingly ignorant. That's one that sticks out to me. People are very willingly ignorant, especially on this topic. There will be violence, people being beheaded for his name. The list is long. There's a lot of information in the Bible that talks about what will happen in the last days. So Jesus was sitting before his disciples, Matthew 24. "Master, what will the end look like? What will take place in the end of the age?" And he says, be mindful that no one deceive you." I'm not reading straight from the Bible, but I kind of remember most of what it's saying is that one of the first things he brings out is don't be deceived. So, which suggests that people could be deceived. Just think about that. There's a lot of people being deceived. And that's why I say that you got to test everything. Make sure what your belief system is founded on is secure. And if it holds up to the fire, it's a legitimate pursuit. So I think that anybody that believes something should allow their belief to be scrutinized to the point of being able to let it be held up to scrutiny. So I feel that's my main drive nowadays, is when I get into a discussion with people, you know, you can't just believe something and hope to convey the information. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And I give that I give credit to Planet Veritas YouTube channel for saying that all the time. That's his slogan. But I just, I feel like this September 23rd thing. In fact, let me go and read Revelation chapter 12. Hold on a second. So Revelation 12. Here we go. Okay. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. So, as you can see here, it's actually a stellar alignment. A great sign takes place in the heavens. Obviously, if you've done your research, you know that in Genesis, it refers to the sun, moon, and the stars being signs and time. So it's not just a timekeeping sequence like the moon rotating around the earth or whatever, but it's actually for signs for what's to come. So prophetic signs. And another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon. So that actually goes on to another thing, but specifically it's referring to the woman, which is considered Virgo constellation, and Leo is the crown on her head. And it's, I don't want to say that this is exactly the way it should be interpreted, but in light of, what the Babylon star was predicted, I believe it was in Isaiah, these magi knew that the king would be born in Bethlehem. So if they can predict the coming of the Messiah or the King, now we have a sign in the heavens that says there's a woman that is going to give birth, and the gestation period is 9 months, where Jupiter flies into the constellation of Virgo, and then it comes out after 9.5 months or something. So, interesting coincidence, if it is a coincidence, but I believe that God has His timing, and if just the fact that we would identify to this based on Stellarium program, a lot of this stuff is all hearsay because I haven't done full research, but if nobody has actually looked into it themselves, I would say do a little research. It's September, what's the date today? The 9th? Or no, it's the 8th today. September 8th of 2017. And, interestingly enough, I feel like the Daniel's Timeline thing, if you haven't seen that with Dewey Bruton, he actually predicted some things to happen around March of 2013 or 14. I forget. I need to double check, but he had said that you'll see some signs or ramping up of things, and that's right around the time that ISIS showed up and started chopping people's heads off. So, I think interesting coincidences, and I think that these are things that people need to look into. So keep an eye out, be a watchman. If you're a watchman, don't let the sword coming on the land be overlooked. You don't want people's blood on your head, because you're responsible. God's given you a responsibility. He's given me a responsibility, that's for sure. I mean, it kind of rocks the boat sometimes. A lot of the people close to me in my life are not always willing to hear what I have to say. But again, in the last days, people are willingly ignorant. Maybe for good reason. There's a lot of false prophets out there. You got to be skeptical. But I think there's a balance. Be skeptical, but be logical. You got to test everything and make sure that things can hold up to the scrutiny. And if it does, yeah, then it's worth your investigation. So that's basically all I had to say for today. I'm going to be watching what's going to happen for September 23rd. There's some people claiming that there's going to be like meteors showers and stuff, and planet Nibiru is going to show up, but our planet X, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't fully buy into all that, but I'm always willing to keep my eyes open, and always willing to be a watchman, and I'll keep my eye and waiting for what will happen. Look for the crescent moon that will show up. The saying that no one knows the day or the hour in terms of Jesus' return. Look for the crescent that comes after this next moon phase, because in Jewish tradition they say no one knows the day or the hour as when the moon phase will return or show up. So think about that. There might be something significant that comes when the moon phase shows back up with that crescent. So anyways, like and subscribe, please. I'm trying to expand my channel, and I want to keep visiting and updating, and things will get better in time with how I present. Trying to find more time to do things, but I've actually discovered that I have a little more time in the morning, or maybe shoot a video here and there. So love you guys, and just stay close to God. Just keep your lamps full of oil, so to speak. When He returns, you're going to want to be ready. So God bless everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.